Winggaster, the Royal Science...
Lately in the Undertale community, the Roaring Knight, the final boss of Chapter 3, has been accused of being a fraud, and for multiple reasons. Currently there is an anti-agenda against the Knight, but is it really this accurate? Is the Roaring Knight really weaker than Gerson and Susie? Are they weak or are they actually strong? Now in this video we will see how strong the Roaring Knight is and if they can keep up with the later high tiers of Deltarune in Chapter 3 and 4. So truly, how strong is the Roaring Knight?
It's the hammer! It is real! Dude, take my picture! It's the night! Oh my god! December!
The first appearance of the Knight is in Chapter 3, where they directly kill Tana and fight the Fun Gang and can deal a high amount of damage to the Fun Gang without a shadow mentor. The Fun Gang are all comparable, if not stronger than Burly, who can tank the explosion of his roller coaster, which was calculated to small brilliant level. However, the meat of the Knight's killing is in their stats. When the Knight kills Tana, they deal around 50,626 damages, which this damage output is really enough to one-shot all of the Fun Gang, even from Chapter 4, and this damage output is even higher than the Dual Buster, which deals around 3,977 damage output, and the Knight output is also higher than the Snowgrave, which at its maximum efficiency deals around 2,925 damage output, and Snowgrave was calculated to deal around 4.52 gigajoule of energy, making the Knight already building level, so greatly higher than the Fun Gang even in Chapter 3. But it gets also crazier, because if you consider the damage output that the Knight can deal, it is firstly enough to one-shot Giga Queen, which has 4,500 HP, which is comparable to the Trash Machine, which can stop their final attack, which was calculated to 8.4 terajoule of energy, and it is consistent as the Knight is implied to be stronger than the Queen, even though the statement is a bit iffy. And as I stated early on, the damage output done by the Knight is greater than Dual Buster, which can really hurt the outer shield of a Titan, which they are presented as a much higher threat than anything before, which will also include Giga Queen. As for more in-depth scaling, the Knight scales above the Fun Gang even in Chapter 4, as their base attack is still higher than Susie's, the strongest Fun Gang member, and Gerson as well, who all have weaker stats than the Knight. There is also a heavy implication that they held back against the Fun Gang in their first encounter, as they are stated by the king to have yet to show their full strength, though his statement can also be iffy since he doesn't really know who the Knight is. You also have to take into consideration that the Knight is following a prophecy, and killing them now would be diverging from the prophecy, and there's also them not taking the Fun Gang seriously. When the Fun Gang successfully go through each of their attack, the Knights seem to have expected this outcome, and considering how they easily swoon them afterwards, it is very likely implying that they were holding back. Considering all the Knights have HP level that let them tank their own attack, their durability is comparable to their strength. As for speed, they are able to keep up with the Fun Gang, who can actually move faster than sound and properly react to Giga Queen's final attack, which moved at Mach 5 as it made flames at it with its movement. However, the Knight is shown having much higher combat speed compared to the Fun Gang, and you could possibly say that they split blitz them at the end of the fight. So by pure higher stand than the Fun Gang and implication that the Knight was holding it back, the Knight absolutely destroys the Fun Gang.
That fucking bird that I hate.
That fucking bird that I hate. That fucking bird that I hate.
That fucking bird that I hate.
Now I want to point out some counter arguments. For example, Susie saying that she can beat the Knight in the light word. Knowing this is an assumption from Susie, but the Knight also laugh at this very idea, which makes it quite questionable. And I'll let you remember that the Knights drag out a light word Undyne across all of Town. More precisely, the Knight kidnaps Undyne by themselves before escaping the Dark World in Chris's house. Right after Undyne's kidnapping, Susie and Chris also escape the Dark World, and Susie immediately sees someone. It is nighttime when the kidnapping happens, so most liners in the light world are asleep and not outside. Furthermore, Susie said that no one in the light world needs to know about the Knight or Undyne's kidnapping, which further supports the idea that the person she saw was either the Knight or Undyne. This someone that Susie mentioned is perceivable to our point of view, meaning that they were not in the shelter. A bit of time passes between Undyne getting kidnapped by the Knight and Susie seeing this someone, which is likely the Knight or Undyne. There is no evidence that support the Knight at any vehicle to go to the shelter. And finally, magic doesn't exist in the light world, so the Knight couldn't have used supernatural abilities to go to the shelter. So in conclusion, the most likely hypothesis of what happened off screen right after the knight escaped Chris's house is that the knight run while carrying Undyne with them, therefore they physically overpowered Undyne. And carrying Undyne while running would be strength feat. More precisely, it would mean that the knight overpowered Undyne to the point where they can carry her while running. And Undyne is someone who can casually lift cars and destroy desk in half, and yet the knight was able to drag out Undyne for quite a small amount of time, and while she was fighting back to escape, it would mean that the Liveward version of the knight is as strong or likely stronger than Liveward Undyne. And Liveward Undyne is presented as much stronger than Chris and Susie, as she has better feats and consistently shown as someone naturally strong. So yes, the knight is stronger than Susie and Chris even in the light world. As for the knight summon the Titan because they couldn't fight the Fun Gang, this is really wrong. As I explained, the knight has higher stats than the Fun Gang even in chapter 4. The knight mocks them right before spawning them. I also forgot to say this for the speed section, but she can also keep up with Susie's surprise attacks while off guard, unlike someone else. And as for Dual Buster, the knight can tank Dual Buster as they have higher HP than Dual Buster damage output, though I have to agree that 2 Dual Buster would make the knight fall on their knees.
I'm making fucking mac and cheese, and nobody can stop.
So in conclusion, is the knight a fraud or are they actually strong? Well, after making all these researches, easily deduced that the knight is stronger than the Fun Gang even in chapter 4, even stronger than Gerson, though maybe not as fast as him, but the knight is easily the strongest character right before the Titans. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. It's been a while since I did a power scaling video, so it's the first one I ever upload. This video was mainly a response to the anti-knight agenda. I don't have any hate to the person that spread this agenda, it's actually pretty funny. I made this video to see if it was actually accurate or if they were downplaying the knight for the purpose of jokes. Anyway, I hope you liked this video and I'll see you next time.